In this video, we're going to show you how to set up your John Deere displays to start documenting data that you can view in the John Deere Operations Center. This video will focus on Generation 4 displays, so if you're using an earlier generation, the setup process will be different, but they'll still collect data for you. In order to document data correctly, you need to make sure that you have your client, farm, field, and task information inputted correctly. If you've loaded a setup file from Operations Center, this is a quick selection process. But if not, you can also create new information on the display, such as fields, machines, implements, and tasks. From your main run page on the Generation 4 screen, navigate to the Work Setup app through the shortcut bar at the bottom left. The Work Setup app contains all the information required to start documenting your operational data. Firstly, we need to define our work location by selecting the right client, farm, and field information. To do this, press on the location area of the app at the top left. If you had already sent a setup file to the display, your fields would automatically be displayed here for you to select from. In this case, we will create a new client, farm, and field. Under the Client tab, press Edit Clients and then New Client. Then go to the Farm tab on the left and press Edit Farms and then New Farm. Click Save on the pop-up that appears. Finally, under the Field tab, press New Field. Give the field a name and click Save. With the client, farm, and field selected, press OK to complete the location section. Next, we need to set up the machine and implement that we'll be using for the task. Pressing on the Equipment section of the Work Setup app presents you with any current machine and implement profiles. If you have a John Deere tractor, harvester, or sprayer, the machine profile will be populated automatically with the correct information. Press on the machine profile to review this information and confirm that the name and type of the machine is accurate, and that GPS offsets, center of rotation, and rear connection offsets are correct. It is important to make sure all measurements and offsets are accurate, as these will impact on the performance of auto track guidance and section control. Click Save to return to your equipment profile list. Next, we need to add an implement by selecting Add Implement. If you have previously sent any implement profiles to the display via a setup file or through manual creation, they will be visible to select from in this list. If you don't have any implement profiles in the display, click on the New Profile button at the bottom left. Give your implement a name and click OK. Check and confirm whether your implement has a controller or not, and select Yes under the Cart section if you are setting up an air cart and bar configuration. Selecting one of these options will take you through further setup steps, which is shown in a separate how-to video. In this scenario, we are adding a deep ripper with no controller. Next, scroll down and press on the Dimensions area to edit the implement dimensions. Using the illustrations on the left and physically measuring your implement with a tape measure, input any lateral offsets and the center of rotation. Again, these measurements are important as they will impact on the performance of section control and coverage. Now you need to define what type of work you are doing with the implement. To do this, click on Add Operation and scroll down to select the appropriate type. We'll select tillage in this scenario. Define the width of the implement and the work point, which is the distance from the tractor connection point to where the implement engages the ground. Now we can define how we would like our display to trigger documentation recording. If we had a controller on our implement, it would automatically control recording of documentation through a master switch. In this scenario, we will set the recording trigger to SCV2, so the documentation starts recording when we lower our implement into the ground and stops when we raise it. Finally, select the connection type between your tractor and the implement and click Save to complete the implement profile. When you click Save, you'll be prompted to update your guidance track spacing to match the implement width. Select the Update Track Spacing option if you want it to match your newly defined implement width. If you're unsure about this, you can select the Help icon at the top of the window to learn more about this setting. When you click the Help button, you're always taken directly to the section relating to what you're currently viewing on the screen. Select the Update Track Spacing option and click OK. With your equipment and type of work now defined, the work summary area is populated with the operational type you selected on the right-hand side. In this example, we chose tillage, and now have the opportunity to define what type of tillage we'll be doing and to what depth. You can select a tillage type from the list, or create your own by selecting Add Tillage Type. Here we'll add a new type called Deep Ripping, and input our target depth of 40 centimeters. Work setup is now complete and you're ready to start documenting your field work. On your main guidance run page, you'll notice your location displayed on the top left-hand side, as well as the type of work at the top left of your map module. Your track spacing is at the top right underneath your currently selected guidance track. As we get underway in this example, our implement is lowered into the ground with SCV2, and work recording begins automatically because of how we configured SCV2 as our recording source earlier. The work recording light will go green on the shortcut bar indicating this, and you will see your coverage appearing on the map module in blue. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other how-to videos.